Hello everyone. Today we are going to know about formal and informal organizations. As you know that while performing the function of organizing, the managers define the job responsibility of each individual. They create authority responsibility relationships so that there is systematic working in the organization and the utilization of resources is ensured to be a maximum. So the structure so created after defining the authority responsibility relationship is called formal organization. Within formal organization, when people meet, interact, and associate with each other, informal organizations are established or formed. So we can say that formal organizations are the product of the organizing function of managers. That is, when they create authority responsibility relationship, that under this manager, assistant manager works, under assistant manager, supervisor works, under supervisor, 4, 5, 6 employees work. So this lined hierarchy of a structure is forming the structure which is known as formal relationship or formal organization. Now, within this formal organization, when assistant manager knows one of the employees who is working in the supervisor, maybe like this, that employee resides in some of the neighborhood of that manager, and if they know each other at workplace, they talk with each other. So this relationship is created out of knowing each other, the informal interaction between them, and this structure which is as the result of informal interaction with each other is known as informal organization. So we must know that we must acknowledge that informal organizations are formed within the formal organizational structure. Students, these are the two formal organization and informal organization. We can say the depiction, the pictorial depiction of how we can see that formal organizations are there and informal organizations are there. So to the left, there is a pictorial depiction of formal organization where you can see that there is a senior vice president, and under whom the workers who are named as Williams, Taylor, and Stock are working in this exploration, drilling, and production department. And under exploration, there are two persons, Cohen and Cross. And under Cohen, there are persons working as Hussain, Bell, Kelly, Cole, like this. Okay. And under drilling department also, there is a petrophysical department in which Cross works, and under whom Sen and Miller more works, and then there is production department in which stock work, and then under production department, production and reservoir further division is there, and under production, O'Brien is working, under whom Payne is reporting to him. So this is the formal organizational structure which is formed due to the authority responsibility structure created by the managers in the organization. So these lines that you can see, that the flow lines, the hierarchical lines are there, and these lines are forming a structure. And here you can acknowledge that when we go to the bottom, that Sen and Miller under this petrophysical department, Sen, Miller, and Moore are reporting to the Frost, and Frost is reporting to the Taylor, and Taylor is reporting to the Jones. Like this, the hierarchical flow line will work. And similarly, this is for the similar other two departments on the right and left. Now we come to the under this only formal structure. To my right, there is informal organization in which you see the here the Cole, who is having an interaction or the relationship with Payne and Shapiro. The Cole is also related to the Cohen. Cole is also in interaction with Jones, Andrew, and like this you cannot see demarcate a very structural flow line, right? Like in the formal organization, you can see the zigzag lines, and it is according to who is interacting and who is in which group. Okay, so we can say that Cole's group is this one. The Cole's group is a little bit bigger. He knows too many people there. Okay, so this particular type of structure is known as informal organization, where people know each other, people interact with each other without any or you can say beyond their authority responsibility relationship. Okay, so this is known as informal organization. And one more thing you must appreciate, that in formal organization the flow of communication is like this. If we see that the drilling and petrophysical departments, then Jones will be communicating to Taylor, Taylor will be communicating to Cross, and Cross then will be communicating to Sen, Miller, and Moore, right? And this is the downward communication. And similarly, if Sen and Miller has any kind of problem while their work, or any kind of the thing they want to discuss, they must discuss it with Cross, and if Cross cannot solve that problem, he may report it to the Taylor, and then Taylor will report it to the Jones. Like this, the communication flow lines will be working in the formal structure. But come to this informal organization. Here you can see that the Taylor is an that Taylor here, the Taylor is which is here in this flow line. Taylor is in connection with Miller, and Taylor is also in interaction with Sen. Then Taylor is also in interaction with Bill, right? So here you can say that the flow lines are not very clear. So in informal organization, the communication is very fast, and there are no fine lines of communication, since these organizations are informal in nature. So we can say that we can define the formal organization as when two or more than two persons come together to achieve a common objective, and if they follow a formal relationship, and that formal relationship is defined by the hierarchical lines drawn by the manager, then the rules and the policies they are which are established for compliance, and there exists a system of authority. When all these features are present in any system, then it is said to be a formal organization. On the other hand, the formation of such organization is deliberate by the top level management. So this formation is formed deliberately by the top level management for ease of work. The organization has its own set of rules, regulations, and policies which are expressed in writing. So what are the features of formal organization? The formal organizational structure is created intentionally by the will of the top level management, and it is formed due to the exercising of the process of organizing or the function of organizing which the manager does. The purpose of formal organization structure is the achievement of organizational goals. In formal organizational structure, each individual is assigned a specific job. His authority is established, his responsibility is established, and who shall he be reporting, that is also being finalized by drawing the line of hierarchy. In formal organization, every individual is assigned a fixed authority or a decision-making power. Beyond that authority, any person cannot decide anything on his own. Formal organizational structure results in creation of superior subordinate relations, because any person who is in the formal structure has to report to someone, and that superior must be reporting to someone else. So like this, we have the clear lines of superior subordinate relations. Formal organizational structure creates a scalar chain of communication, like I discussed it in the previous slide while I was explaining the diagram, that communication lines in the formal structure are upward or downward. Okay. So what are the types of organizations? Formal organizations, there may be line organization, there may be line and staff organization, there may be functional organization, project management organization, and matrix organization. These organizations are formed on for a specific criteria. That is, line organization is the line of hierarchical structure in which the line of reporting to the superiors and the communication with the subordinates is totally defined. Okay, line and staff is there where the line personnel need this consultancy or the specialized advice of any person who is expert in any area. Then staff personnel are there, so that structure is called as line and staff organization. Under functional organizations, authority responsibility relationships are created, that is, formal structures are created on the basis of any particular function. Maybe the function, maybe the production function, maybe the sales. So any functional area is selected, and on that basis the organization is created. In project management organization, formal structures are created for the fulfillment of or the completion of a project. You can take the example of a metro project that is going on in Bhopal. So that is a project in which a whole team is created, and in that only the hierarchical structures are drawn, the authority responsibility relationships are clearly drawn, and that exists till the completion of the project. So there are project management organization, and then matrix organization, in which people from different departments are taken, and they are being internated in a form of their relationship is internated in a form of matrix. So that organization is called as matrix organization. What are the advantages of formal organization? There is systematic working, as we know that these structures are created only to smoothen down the functioning in the organization. So as a result, the functioning shall be systematic and smooth in the organization. Achievement of organizational objectives. This whole exercise is done to achieve organizational objectives in a smooth manner, in a defined way, in a timely manner. There is no overlapping of work in this, because clearly the authority relationships and the responsibility relationships are defined, so there is no chance of overlapping work. Coordination. Formal organizational structures result in coordinating the activities of various employees functioning at various levels. Creation of chain of command. As we can see that formal structures are drawn according to the authority responsibility relationship. So there is a clear chain of command, that who shall be reporting to whom and whose instructions are to be followed by whom. There is more emphasis on work in this, because the structure is formal, and there is very less space for interpersonal relationships that people may be having with each other. There may be some disadvantages also in this type of organization. There is the actions are delayed because there is a scalar chain of command which has to be followed, and in case the decisions are to be taken which require the quick decision making, those decisions are also get delayed in the formal structure, because the hierarchical structure, the hierarchical authority of relationships cannot be bypassed. It ignores the social needs of employees, and we can recall that according to need hierarchy theory, there are social needs of employees, and in formal organizational structure also the social needs of employees are there. So this formal organization has no space for the social interpersonal relationships, so it lacks that thing, that the social needs of employees are not properly looked into in this type of organization. Emphasis on work only. These structures are created for smoothening of working culture. So in these type of organization, only stress on work. They give importance to work only, for which the organizational goals are set. Only those are to be achieved. So it ignores the human relations, the creativity. Whatever instructions are there from the top level, they have to be followed by each and every person. No chance for the personal talents, for the creativity, etc. Now we'll see the informal organization. And informal organization is created out of the formal structure only. That is a system of interpersonal relationships between individuals working in the organization, and these are formed as a result of people meeting with each other, interacting with each other, associating with one another in the formal structures. Okay, so within the formal hierarchical structure, when people meet across their or define their hierarchical lines, then such type of organization is known as informal organization. The organization is created by the members spontaneously. That is, no deliberated intent is there to create such structures, but these structures are formed due to the very basic nature of human beings, that they live in a society, they respond to each other's need, that. So these structures are created out of the socio psychological needs of people to talk, to interact with each other. The organization is featured by mutual aid, cooperation, companionship among the members. The features of such organizations are: informal organizational structure gets created automatically without any intended efforts of the managers. Informal organizational structure is formed by employees to get psychological satisfaction, to fulfill their social needs. Informal organizational structure does not follow any fixed path of flow of authority lines or communication. Communication can be crisscross, any way, upward, downward, diagonal, any type of line of communication can flow. Source of information cannot be known under the informal structure, as any person can communicate with anyone in the organization, like we have seen in the pictorial chart, that the person working in the bottom area can also have a contact with the person in the middle level management. The existence of informal organizational structure depends on the formal organization structure, because such informal organizational structures are formed due to the hierarchical relationship. When people are under one structure, then they come to know each other working in an organization. There are some advantages also of the informal organization. The communication is very, very fast, and this type of communication has no trace back. Who has initiated the communication, you cannot track. So such communication is known as, commonly called as, grapevine, right? The communication is very fast in such a structure. It fulfills the social needs. Like we know that human being is a social animal, he needs to interact with each other, and so social needs are get fulfilled due to this type of organization. There is correct feedback. So informal structure, the top level managers can know the real feedback of employees on various policies and plans. When people talk with each other on certain kind of policy, that in this policy this is not this particular point is not good for us, this is not good for the organization, and this particular thing, when we go on working on this, it would be very difficult, it cannot be done practically, like such kind of feedbacks. When people talk with each other, employees talk with each other, so such feedback reaches to the top level managers also. Because remember that people sitting at the top level may also have their informal relationship within the group, which has no defined hierarchical lines. So they come to know the real feedback of the plans and policies of the organization. Strategic use of informal organization can be ensured, and this is very, very useful. This become very, very useful for the top level management also. Informal organization can be used to get benefits in the formal organization, as in the following way: the knowledge of informal group can be used to gather support of employees and improve their performance, and through grapevine important information can be transmitted quickly. कुछ इन्फॉर्मेशन ऐसी देनी है जो कि आप अगर फ्लो लाइन से भेजेंगे तो उसको टाइम बहुत लगेगा, एंड इन्फॉर्मेशन इज वेरी, वेरी क्रूशियल। बट आप जब तक फ्लो लाइन से भेजेंगे, सर्कुलर निकालेंगे, तब तक पहुंचने में बहुत टाइम लग जाएगा। So you can throw it in the informal communication channel, and through grapevine it reaches within seconds. By cooperating with the informal groups, the managers can skillfully take the advantage of both formal and informal organizations. So thank you.